The scent hits me first. Sharp lemon zest, almost aggressive, cutting through the warm, buttery air thick with the promise of croissants and pain au chocolat. It's my scent, my lemon lavender signature. And hearing her voice slice through the polite murmur of the morning rush, it's almost too much. I stand behind the polished marble counter of my bakery. Mine. The word still feels foreign, powerful. 5 years ago, I was Sophia Chen, scrubbing pans in the back of this very kitchen, dreaming of seeing my creations in that gleaming display case. Now, I'm Chen Wei, the new owner, the woman who swept in and bought a light bakery, out from under its struggling management, renaming it the Gilded Whisk. A touch ironic, perhaps, but irony is a luxury I can afford now. My eyes lock on Ashley Dubois, former best friend, current customer. She's leaning over the glass case, pointing a perfectly manicured finger at a slice of tiered cake, frosted in pale yellow buttercream and dotted with candied lavender. My cake. This one, Ashley declares, her voice carrying easily, meant to be overheard. She turns to the woman beside her, someone I don't recognize, blonde and draped in beige cashmere. Honestly, Belinda, their lemon lavender cake is divine. A bit homespun for elite's old standards, maybe? But surprisingly good. You simply must try it. Homespun. The word lands like a slap. The same condescending tone she used 5 years ago when I'd excitedly shown her the first successful test batch, the one I'd poured my soul into perfecting. It's cute, Soph, she'd said then, picking a stray lavender bud off the frosting. Very rustic. Are you sure Mr. Jennings will go for something so simple? Mr. Jennings, Marcus Jennings, my old boss, the man who fired me, the man who... A flash, hot and blinding. Smoke stinging my eyes, the acrid smell of burning sugar and something else. Something chemical. Flames licking at the wooden shelves, consuming my worn recipe book, my life's work. Shouting, sirens fading into darkness. Kitchen fire, tragic accident. Poor Sophia. Accident. Right. An accident facilitated by a stolen recipe book, a ruined reputation, and whispers started by people I trusted. People like Ashley, people like Marcus, people like family. My hand tightens around the handle of the heavy wooden spoon I've been using to stir a pot of simmering pastry cream. My knuckles are white. The smooth, worn wood feels simultaneously grounding and alien in my grip. This body still feels new sometimes. The reflexes not quite mine. The memories layered like phyllo dough, crisp and fragile. Chen Wei's memories, quiet and studious, overlaid with Sophia Chen's fiery, betrayed past. Miss Chen, is everything all right? I jump slightly. Lena, my assistant manager, is looking at me, her brow furrowed with concern. She's young, eager, talented, loyal. Everything I thought Ashley was. Everything I needed 5 years ago. I force a smile, loosening my grip on the spoon. It trembles slightly. Nothing at all, Lena, just remembering an old recipe. I gesture vaguely towards the display case. That lemon lavender seems popular this morning. It's your best seller, Lena beams, ever since that food blogger raved about it last week. Ashley, having secured her slice of homespun cake, turns from the counter. Her eyes, the same cool blue I once found calming, now scan the bakery with an air of proprietary nostalgia. She doesn't recognize me. Of course she doesn't. Sophia Chen died. Chen Wei has different hair, a different way of holding herself, a quiet confidence bought with pain and planning. Sophia was all bright-eyed enthusiasm and flower dust. Chen Wei is steel. She approaches the counter where I'm standing, ostensibly to pay, but her gaze sweeps over me, dismissive, assessing. The wealthy customer evaluating the hired help. This cake is just divine, she says again, louder this time, directing it at me. Her smile is tight, practiced. Absolutely fantastic. Did you make it? The air stills. The buttery scent feels suffocating now, the lemon sharp enough to draw blood. It's the question. The loaded, condescending, knowing question, even if she doesn't know she knows. Did I make it? The recipe she mocked? The recipe Marcus claimed I stole from him. The recipe that was the first step on the path to my ruin. 5 years I've waited. 5 years of meticulous planning, of rebuilding a life from ashes, fueled by cold, simmering rage, and the unexpected inheritance from a grandmother this body's family barely acknowledged, waiting for this moment. For one of them to walk back into my domain, completely unaware. I meet her gaze directly, letting none of Sophia's remembered hurt show in Chen Wei's calm eyes. I wipe my hands deliberately on my apron, a crisp navy linen far finer than the stained cotton ones Sophia used to wear. I extend my hand across the marble counter, the stone cool beneath my palm. Chen Wei, I say, my voice even, pleasant. The new owner? I pause, letting the title land. And you are? Ashley's perfectly plucked eyebrows rise almost imperceptibly. Her hand hesitates before lightly touching mine, a brief, cool contact. Ashley Dubois. She withdraws her hand quickly. There's a flicker in her eyes. Not recognition, but confusion? A faint unease, like encountering a half-forgotten scent, or a melody just out of reach. Why does this stranger, this baker, make her feel so unsettled? Good. Let her feel unsettled. It's only the beginning. The memory surfaces, unbidden, sharp as shattered sugar glass. Culinary school graduation. Not this life's quiet affair, but Sophia's. The big one. The culmination of years scrubbing floors and greasy spoons, saving every penny, practicing until my fingers were raw, fueled by dreams and discount flour. I'd won the prestigious Golden Whisk Award for my final project, an elaborate croquembouche sculpted into a blossoming rose, each cream puff perfect, each spun sugar petal catching the light. My portfolio, filled with designs for elite bakery, was tucked under my arm, the key to my future. My interview with Marcus Jennings, the celebrated owner, was the next day. Then Olivia, my sister, Sophia's sister, rushed towards me, beaming, holding 2 steaming cups of coffee. "Soph! Congratulations! I'm so proud!" And then the stumble, the gasp, the scalding liquid cascading over my pristine white chef's coat, soaking the portfolio, blurring the ink, melting the carefully rendered designs into an unrecognizable mess. "Oh my God, Soph, I'm so clumsy. I'm so sorry." Her eyes, wide and seemingly full of remorse, held a glint I hadn't understood then. An accident. Always an accident with Olivia. Now I stand in the doorway of my parents' house, Chen Wei's parents' house. It's the first time I've been back since I became Chen Wei. It's tastefully decorated, minimalist and expensive, a stark contrast to the cluttered, floral wallpapered home Sophia grew up in. Chen Wei's parents are polite, distant figures, absorbed in their academic careers. They accepted their quiet daughter's sudden interest in acquiring a local bakery with detached curiosity, offering funding from a trust I hadn't known existed until my rebirth. It was Sophia's parents, our parents, who were the problem. Olivia is here. My sister, 5 years older, 5 years prettier in that brittle, lacquered way. She's swirling a glass of white wine, holding court in the center of the living room, regaling Chen Wei's parents with plans for her upcoming wedding. "And Marcus, my fiancé," she gushes, oblivious to the way my hand clenches around the doorframe. "He owns Jennings Catering. You know, the most prestigious catering company in the city. He's simply brilliant. He's handling everything for the wedding, of course, but we still need the perfect engagement party caterer." She turns her bright, false smile on me. "Oh, Wei, darling, your bakery. I've heard the most amazing things. People are raving." The air thickens. I can almost smell it, my mother's perfume. Not Chen Wei's mother's subtle rosewater, but Sophia's mother's signature scent. Jasmine and bergamot. Sharp, floral, judgmental. The scent that always accompanied pronouncements about Olivia's practical business sense versus Sophia's frivolous baking dreams. Honestly, Sophia, frosting flowers? Olivia is negotiating 6-figure contracts. Try to be a bit more grounded, dear. My stomach tightens into a familiar, icy knot. Even without her physical presence, her influence lingers in Olivia's entitled drawl. And then he walks in. Marcus Jennings. Tall, impeccably dressed, same calculated charm radiating off him like heat from an oven. Older, perhaps a few more silver threads at his temples, but instantly recognizable. My former boss, the man who listened to my ideas in meetings, nodding thoughtfully. only to present them as his own weeks later. The man who accused me of stealing his family recipes, recipes suspiciously similar to the ones in my grandmother's notebook, the one that vanished shortly before the fire. The man who fired me for gross incompetence and intellectual property theft, ruining my reputation before I could even truly begin. The man who then used my signature chocolate tempering technique and my lemon lavender flavor profile to win the national pastry competition 6 months after my death. He smiles warmly at Olivia, kissing her cheek. Then he turns, his gaze sweeping the room, landing on me, no recognition. Why would there be? Sophia Chen is ash and a tragic headline. Chen Wei is just some new bakery owner Olivia wants to hire. Marcus, darling, Olivia chirps, taking his arm possessively. This is Chen Wei, the owner of that divine new bakery, the Gilded Whisk. I was just telling her we'd love for her to cater our engagement party. Marcus extends a hand, his professional smile firmly in place. A pleasure, Miss Chen. Olivia hasn't stopped talking about your lemon cake. His hand is cool, dry, the handshake firm, dismissive. The same handshake that sealed my fate 5 years ago. Sophia, I'm afraid we have to let you go. I maintain eye contact, keeping my own smile serene. The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Jennings. I let my gaze linger, just a fraction too long. Olivia's engagement party sounds lovely. I'd be honored to cater it. I watched the confusion flicker across Marcus's face. He frowned slightly, tilting his head. That faint sense of unease, the same flicker I saw in Ashley's eyes. Good. I deliberately let my gaze drift towards him again as I turned back to Olivia. Your fiancé seems familiar, I mused, tapping a finger against my chin thoughtfully. Haven't we met before, Mr. Jennings? The crystal wineglass in Marcus's hand slips slightly, the pale liquid sloshing near the rim. His smile tightens. I don't believe so, Miss Chen. I think I'd remember. Oh, I bet you would, Marcus. You just don't know it yet. The tasting is set for a Tuesday afternoon, sunlight streaming through the large front window of the Gilded Whisk, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air like powdered sugar. Olivia is fluttering around, exclaiming over miniature versions of my signature desserts. The lemon lavender tartlets, the salted caramel eclairs, the rosewater macarons. Marcus, however, is all business, his eyes sharp, analytical. He tastes methodically, a small frown creasing his brow. He's looking for flaws, for weaknesses, or perhaps for secrets. The caramel in this eclair, he says, pointing with a silver tasting fork. It's exceptional, very smooth, deep flavor, complex. He looks directly at me. An old family recipe? The audacity. My grandmother's caramel, perfected over years, the one he tried to replicate after I was gone, never quite getting the temperature right, according to industry gossip. My caramel? Just something I've worked on, I reply smoothly, offering a demure smile. Olivia is momentarily distracted by Lena bringing out a tray of miniature Black Forest gâteaux. Marcus seizes the opportunity. I see his eyes dart towards the small stack of recipe cards I keep tucked discreetly behind the counter. Notes for my staff, shorthand reminders. While my back is turned, pretending to adjust a display of cookies, I watch his reflection in the polished espresso machine. His hand snakes out, quick and practiced, slipping the top card, labeled Signature Caramel, into his inner jacket pocket. The cuff of his expensive shirt rides up, revealing his watch. A gleaming, stainless steel chronograph. The watch Sophia had saved for months to buy him for his birthday, back when she still believed he was her mentor, back before she understood the depths of his duplicity. Seeing it still on his wrist sends a jolt of cold fury through me. He kept the watch. Of course he did. I turn back, pretending not to have noticed. My expression is serene, accommodating. I find inspiration everywhere, I say vaguely, answering his earlier unspoken question about the caramel's origin. I walk towards the back, gesturing for them to follow. While you finish tasting, let me get you some notes on flavor pairings, potential cake designs, perhaps even some basic recipe outlines to help you visualize the full menu. I smile placidly, something to take home. Marcus's composure is flawless. That would be very helpful, Miss Chen. Thank you. He pats his jacket pocket almost unconsciously. He thinks he's won. He thinks he's just stolen the key to my success, the secret to the caramel that elevates my pastries above the competition, above his catering company's increasingly stale offerings. He has no idea. The recipe card he pocketed? Not my signature caramel. It's a carefully crafted fake. The ingredients are subtly wrong, the temperature's skewed just enough, the instructions misleading. It looks convincing, but anyone attempting to follow it will end up with a grainy, separated, unusable mess. Classic crystallization failure, a beginner's mistake, but one cleverly induced by my altered instructions. And the take-home cake box Lena is packing for them, filled with samples. Nestled amongst the miniature eclairs and tartlets is a decorative sugar flower, a delicate white peony. Embedded within its intricate petals is a tiny, heat-resistant camera lens, currently transmitting a clear audio-visual feed directly to my encrypted laptop in the back office. Let the show begin. Later that evening, curled up on the plush sofa in my apartment above the bakery, I watched the live stream. Marcus is in his state-of-the-art catering kitchen, the stainless steel gleaming under harsh fluorescent lights. He's attempting to recreate my caramel, clearly planning to use it for an important client presentation tomorrow. I overheard him mentioning it to Olivia during the tasting. Restaurant investors, he'd said. A big contract. He follows the stolen recipe meticulously. I watch him measure the sugar, the water, the butter, all slightly off, thanks to my doctored instructions. He heats the mixture, watching the thermometer intently. He's confident, arrogant even. He thinks he's got this. Then, the moment of truth. As the caramel reaches the temperature specified on my card, a temperature I know is fatally flawed for that ratio of ingredients. It happens. Instead of turning a smooth, glossy amber, the mixture seizes. It becomes cloudy, then grainy. Sugar crystals bloom like frost on a window pane. Ruined. Utterly, irrevocably ruined. Marcus swears, slamming his whisk down on the counter. He tries again. Same result. Panic starts to creep into his expression. He glances at the clock. He's running out of time. The expensive demonstration for the investors is tomorrow morning. His reputation, his potential funding, relies on showcasing innovative, high-quality techniques. Like my caramel. The fallout is swift, predictable. The next afternoon, the bell above the Gilded Whisk store jangles violently. Marcus storms in, his face thunderous, his expensive suit smelling faintly, unmistakably of burnt sugar. He bypasses the waiting customers, striding directly to the counter where I'm arranging petits fours. "The recipe you gave me," he hisses, leaning across the marble, his voice low and furious. "It was flawed. It didn't work. It crystallized. Twice." I look up, feigning mild surprise. I carefully place a candied violet onto a tiny cake. "What recipe, Mr. Jennings?" I ask, my voice calm, confusion etched onto my face. "I don't recall giving you a recipe, especially not for my signature caramel. I never give out my recipes. It's company policy." I gesture vaguely towards a small, framed sign Alina put up last week. "Perhaps you misunderstood our discussion about flavor profiles?" His eyes narrow. He knows I'm lying. He knows he took the card, but he can't prove it. He can't admit to theft. He's trapped. "You sabotaged me," he snarls, quieter now, aware of the customers pretending not to listen. I raise an eyebrow, tilting my head slightly. "Sabotaged you? Why would I do that? I'm merely a baker, Mr. Jennings. You run the most prestigious catering company in the city." I pause, letting the words hang. Though I did hear about the unfortunate issue with the investor demonstration this morning, such a shame. His face pales slightly. News travels fast in this town. The security camera in the corner, identical to the one that recorded his theft yesterday, blinks silently, its little red light a steady, unwavering eye. He pushes himself away from the counter, defeated for now. He turns to leave, then pauses at the door, his hand on the handle. He looks back at me, his eyes narrowed in frustrated suspicion. "You remind me of someone?" he says slowly, the words sharp despite their softness. "Someone I used to know. Someone who understood caramel. The way you do." My heart hammers against my ribs. A single frantic beat. How close is he? Does some part of him, buried beneath the arrogance and deceit, recognize the ghost of Sophia Chen standing before him? I force my expression to remain impassive, merely offering him a polite, questioning smile as he finally turns and leaves, the bell jangling mockingly behind him. A week later, Olivia pushes through the bakery door looking flustered. The air still holds the warm, earthy fragrance of cardamom from the morning's batch of spiced buns, a scent Sophia always associated with cozy, quiet mornings, sketching designs, mornings Olivia invariably interrupted. "Way, darling, thank God you're here," she sighs dramatically, sinking onto one of the velvet stools at the counter. She orders a latte, extra foam, then launches into a lament about Marcus's recent business woes. Those investors pulling out was such a blow. He's been impossible to live with. She stirs her coffee vigorously. Honestly, the stress of this wedding is getting to me. She pivots the conversation smoothly, predictably. "Speaking of weddings, I was thinking, your design aesthetic is just so unique, fresh. Maybe we could collaborate on the wedding cake?" She smiles brightly, but her eyes are assessing the leather-bound portfolio lying on the counter beside me. Chen Wei's portfolio, filled with sketches for upcoming commissions, including several innovative wedding cake designs I've been developing. My phone buzzes. A supplier confirmation. I excuse myself, stepping towards the back office. "Just one moment, Olivia." Out of the corner of my eye, I see it, quick as a viper strike. Her phone is out, angled towards my open portfolio. Click, click, click. She snaps photos of several pages. My tiered geode cake concept, the delicate sugar lace technique I've been perfecting, the watercolor floral design. She slips the phone back into her ridiculously oversized designer handbag just as I turn around. "So sorry about that," I say, walking back to the counter. Her cheeks are slightly flushed. "No problem at all," she says breezily, taking another sip of her latte. "So, about the collaboration?" I smile. "Actually, Olivia, I've been meaning to organize my sketches. I have some older concepts, things I decided not to pursue for various reasons. Would you like to take a folder home? For inspiration?" Her eyes light up, predatory and pleased. "Oh, Wei, would you? That's so generous." Her fingers tremble slightly as she accepts the sleek black folder I retrieve from under the counter. She thinks she's getting away with it, thinks she's being clever. She doesn't realize she took the bait. The sketches inside the folder are real designs, yes. Beautiful ones even. But they aren't my best work. And more importantly, each page has been treated. Watermarked with invisible UV reactive ink. An ink that only becomes visible, brilliantly so, under the bright lights of scanners or, conveniently, when photographed with a flash. Later that day, I casually mention a rumor I heard. "There's a secret industry showcase happening next week, Olivia. Very exclusive. Supposedly, celebrity wedding planners are scouting for new, undiscovered talent. A friend mentioned your name might be floated as an attendee if you had a strong portfolio to present quickly." Olivia's eyes widen. Undiscovered talent? Celebrity planners? It's exactly the kind of shortcut to prestige she craves. Really? How? When? I provide the false details, a non-existent event at a minor hotel across town. Meanwhile, I have my own invitation to the real showcase, an exclusive, high-profile event where I've been invited not just to attend, but to judge the newcomer design competition. The night before the real showcase, my bakery kitchen is quiet except for the rhythmic whisking of ganache, the gentle hum of the ovens. I work steadily, meticulously preparing samples of my actual signature designs. My muscles ache from hours on my feet, but a fierce satisfaction burns through the exhaustion. Olivia is walking into a trap of her own making, fueled by her greed and insecurity. Marcus stole my work. Olivia stole my chance. Turnabout is fair play. The showcase is buzzing, champagne flowing, the air electric with ambition and the scent of expensive perfume. I'm mingling near the judges' table, accepting congratulations on the Gilded Whisk's rising profile when I see her. Olivia arrives flushed, triumphant, clutching a sheaf of glossy printouts. She heads straight for the main presentation stage where potential designers are setting up displays. I watch, sipping my champagne, as she eagerly approaches the lead event organizer, a formidable woman named Clara Dubois, no relation to Ashley, ironically, but just as influential. Olivia presents her printouts, my designs, stolen and slightly altered, but clearly recognizable. Clara raises an eyebrow, holding one of the printouts closer to the bright stage lights. And there it is. Faint at first, then sharpening under the glare, appearing across the intricate geode cake design in clear block letters, stolen from Chen Wei Bakery. Clara gasps softly. She holds up another printout, same watermark, another, the same. Olivia's triumphant smile falters, confusion clouding her face. She snatches a page back, staring at it. The watermark is invisible to her naked eye in the ambient light, but under the focused lamps, it's undeniable. Clara's voice, though low, cuts through the nearby chatter. Miss Vance, Olivia's maiden name, the one she uses professionally when it suits her. Can you explain this? She holds up the watermark design, heads turn. The buzz quiets. People edge closer, sensing drama. Olivia's face drains of color. I don't understand, she stammers. Those are my designs, inspired by hers maybe, but inspired? Clara repeats coolly. This watermark suggests otherwise. It suggests theft. The room falls silent. Phone cameras emerge, clicking softly, documenting Olivia's public humiliation. The industry elite, the very people she hoped to impress, are witnessing her downfall. My champagne fizzes quietly in my glass. Chaos is erupting around my sister, and I feel calm, vindicated. Her phone rings minutes later. It's Olivia, her voice choked with sobs. Wei, please, you have to help me. Claire Dubois is accusing me of stealing. My reputation. It's ruined. I don't know how this happened. That watermark, I'm so sorry, Wei. I just took the photos for inspiration, I swear. I was going to change them more, please. That sounds terrible, Olivia, I say coolly into the phone, watching her across the room. Her mascara is running, black streaks trailing down her flushed cheeks. She looks small, desperate, pathetic. Let me see what I can do. I end the call and begin walking towards her, navigating the crowd of whispering onlookers. As I approach the edge of the throng surrounding my distraught sister, my eyes meet another pair across the room. Familiar eyes, sharp, intelligent, framed by stylish glasses. It's Eleanor Vance, no relation to Olivia, despite the surname coincidence. Eleanor Vance, Sophia Chen's other best friend from culinary school, the ambitious one, the driven one, the one who disappeared from Sophia's life shortly after the fire, only to reemerge a year later as E.V. Starr, the city's most feared and respected food critic. Her gaze holds mine for a beat too long. There's recognition there, I'm almost sure of it. But not of Chen Wei, the baker. Is it possible? Could she somehow, impossibly, see the ghost of Sophia Chen looking back at her? My carefully constructed composure wavers, just for a second. The letter arrives on crisp, heavy bond paper, the return address embossed in gold. The National Pastry Guild. My hands tremble slightly as I slice open the envelope with a palette knife. Nomination, National Pastry Award, the Gilded Whisk, Chen Wei, Head Patissier. The same award, the very same competition Marcus won 5 years ago, using my stolen techniques, my signature flavor profile, presented just months after Sophia Chen died. The irony is so thick, so cloying, it's almost suffocating. He won his fame on my ashes. Now I'm nominated, competing against him, under a new name, in a new life. The universe, it seems, enjoys a good plot twist. That evening, the nomination letter sits on the gleaming black countertop of my sleek downtown apartment. It's miles away from the cramped studio Sophia rented, both literally and figuratively. This place speaks of wealth, of security. Chen Wei's wealth. Or rather, the wealth Chen Wei inherited. The wealth Sophia never knew she was entitled to. I walk over to the built-in bookshelf filled with vintage baking manuals and first editions of culinary classics. My fingers trail over the worn leather spines, stopping at a specific volume, Escoffier's Le Guide Culinaire. A gentle push, a faint click, and the entire section swings inward, revealing a hidden safe. Inside, nestled amongst birth certificates and property deeds belonging to the late Chen Wei, are older documents. Papers detailing trust funds, offshore accounts, and controlling shares in a vast global hospitality conglomerate, the Chen Legacy Group. founded by my paternal grandfather, Sophia's paternal grandfather. A man I barely remembered. A stern figure my parents rarely spoke of after a bitter family argument years before I was even born. An argument I now understand from these papers about the future of the family business and my parents' desire for a quiet academic life, far removed from the pressures of the Chen Empire. They hid it all from me, from Sophia. They let me struggle, let me believe we were ordinary, middle class, while sitting on a fortune. A memory flickers, warm and comforting this time. Me, maybe 6 or 7 years old, perched on a stool in a large, unfamiliar kitchen. My grandfather, smelling of vanilla and old books, patiently showing me how to fold egg whites into batter. "Gentle, Sophia," he'd murmured, his large hand guiding mine. "Baking is like building anything important. It requires patience, precision, and a strong foundation." He'd gestured around the grand house. This is our family's foundation. Built on hard work, vision, legacy. Never forget that, little Phoenix. Little Phoenix. Had he known? Had he somehow foreseen the fire, the ashes, the rebirth? Or was it just a pet name? The documents offer no answers, only assets. Assets that include, amongst countless hotels and resorts worldwide, a certain commercial property portfolio, including the building that houses Marcus Jennings's prestigious catering company headquarters. He pays rent to me, or rather to the conglomerate I now effectively control. The pieces click into place, sharp and satisfying. My path forward is clear. It's time to stop playing small, hiding behind the identity of Chen Wei, the quiet baker. It's time for Sophia Chen's Phoenix to truly rise. I pick up my phone, the crystal paperweight on my desk catching the sunset's glow, casting rainbow patterns across my meticulously crafted business plan. I dial a number stored deep in the Chen legacy files, my grandfather's notoriously sharp former right-hand man, now semi-retired, but still fiercely loyal to the old man's memory. "Mr. Zhao," I say, my voice steady, imbued with a newfound authority. "This is Chen Wei, or perhaps you'd know me better by my birth name. Sophia Chen, my grandfather's granddaughter. It seems I have a birthright to claim." I pause, letting the silence stretch. "The Chen name might not mean anything to this town yet," I continue, my voice hardening, "but it will." 2 weeks later, invitations go out. Thick cream cardstock, elegant calligraphy, scented faintly with lemon and lavender. "You are cordially invited to the grand reopening and rebranding celebration of the Gilded Whisk, now proudly part of the Chen Hospitality Group." I send them to everyone: Ashley, Olivia, Marcus, my parents, Sophia's parents, even Eleanor Vance, the food critic. Let them all come. Let them witness the unveiling. The night of the event, the bakery is transformed. Soft lighting, champagne flowing, a string quartet playing softly in the corner. The air buzzes with anticipation, with the clinking of glasses and murmured speculation. My villain circle arrives one by one. Ashley, curious and slightly wary. Olivia, subdued since her showcase disaster, clinging nervously to Marcus's arm. Marcus, projecting confidence, but his eyes darting around, assessing the unexpected display of wealth. And my parents, looking bewildered, out of place amidst the city's elite who have turned out for the rumored connection to the powerful, mysterious Chen Legacy Group. I wait until the room is full, until the champagne has flowed freely, until the anticipation is palpable. Then, I step onto the small, temporary stage set up near the entrance, Lena handing me a microphone. "Good evening, everyone," I begin, my voice clear, amplified slightly. "Thank you all for coming." I smile, a slow, deliberate curve of my lips. "Many of you know me as Chen Wei, the owner of the Gilded Whisk." I pause. "But tonight marks a new chapter. Not just for this bakery, but for me." I take a breath. Some of you may have heard whispers of the Chen Legacy Group, a name perhaps more familiar in international finance than in local patisseries. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Marcus shifts uncomfortably. My mother looks confused. "My grandfather founded that group," I continue, my voice ringing with newfound strength. "A legacy my parents chose to distance themselves from. A legacy they hid from their daughter." I look directly at my parents now, their faces paling. My birth name is not Chen Wei, it is Sophia Chen. A collective gasp. Silence descends, thick and heavy. Champagne flutes clink awkwardly. My mother's hand flies to her mouth, her eyes wide with disbelief, then dawning horror. Recognition finally flickers, sharp and painful. Your eyes, she whispers, the sound barely audible but carrying in the sudden hush. You have your grandfather's eyes. She drops her champagne glass. It shatters on the polished floor, the sound echoing the breaking of carefully constructed lies. Marcus pushes forward, his face contorted with shock and disbelief. No, that's impossible, he sputters, pointing a shaking finger at me. Sophia Chen is dead. She died in that kitchen fire 5 years ago. The room erupts in whispers, heads turning, staring. All eyes are on me. I meet Marcus's panicked gaze, holding it steadily. I allow a small, enigmatic smile to play on my lips. Did she? I ask softly, letting the question hang in the supercharged air. Or did she, perhaps, rise from those ashes? The morning after the revelation dawns bright and clear, but the atmosphere inside my office, tucked away behind the bustling bakery floor, is heavy. Flower arrangements crowd every surface, opulent lilies, funereal white roses, extravagant birds of paradise, apology bouquets, guilt offerings. The cloying scent of lilies hangs thick in the air, a bitter reminder of the arrangements sent after Sophia's accident, the ones that choked me with their false sympathy. My assistant, Lena, keeps offering me tea, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and concern. She knew me as Chen Wei. Sophia Chen, heir to a hospitality empire, is someone entirely new. Olivia arrives first, predictably. Her eyes are red-rimmed, her usual perfect makeup slightly smudged. She wears no jewelry except her engagement ring, but something is different about it. The large, ostentatious diamond Marcus gave her is gone, leaving only the plain gold band. A pawn shop casualty, perhaps, after Marcus's recent financial troubles. Sophia, she begins, her voice thick with tears as she sinks into the chair opposite my mahogany desk. I had no idea about who you really were, about any of it. She twists her hands in her lap. I never meant to hurt you, truly. I was just jealous, always jealous. You had the talent, the passion. Mom and Dad always praised my grades, my sensible choices, but I knew you were the brilliant one. She reaches a hesitant hand across the desk towards mine. I was awful, spoiled, and petty. Can you ever forgive me? Her tears seem genuine, her confession raw. A younger Sophia might have been moved, but Chen Wei, the woman forged in fire and betrayal, remains unmoved. Jealousy, a convenient excuse for sabotage, for carelessness that cost me my portfolio, my first real chance. Jealousy doesn't excuse theft, Olivia, I say quietly, pulling my hand back before she can touch it. The soft cashmere of my sweater sleeve brushes against the polished wood. Or calculated accidents. I meet her gaze. Your apology now doesn't change the past. Either of them. Olivia flinches, withdrawing her hand as if burned. She stares at me, the tears drying, replaced by a flicker of her old resentment. So that's it? You're just going to cut me off? We were never truly connected, were we? I reply evenly. You made sure of that. She leaves without another word, shoulders slumped. Defeated, but perhaps, finally, understanding the consequences. Marcus arrives next, 10 minutes later, radiating forced confidence. His usual expensive cologne sandalwood is overlaid with something else today. Desperation. He doesn't apologize. He doesn't plead. He goes straight for the angle he understands, power. Sophia, he says, leaning casually against the doorframe before striding towards my desk. Impressive, truly impressive. He gestures around the office, the bakery beyond. You played the long game, I respect that. He lays a sleek, leather-bound folder on my desk, a contract. Listen, what happened 5 years ago? It was business. Harsh, maybe, but business. You were talented, yes, but naive. Now you have resources, connections. I have the operational expertise, the established brand. Jennings Catering and Chen Hospitality. Think about it. Together, we could rule the culinary world in this city. A partnership. He smiles, that calculated charm turned up to maximum. I always saw your potential, Sophia. Potential he tried to steal and then crush. My eyes flick down to the contract. The dense legal language, the clauses outlining profit sharing, control. It's chillingly familiar. It mirrors the non-compete agreement he forced Sophia to sign right before firing her, the one drafted by his lawyers to ensure she couldn't work in any reputable kitchen in the city for 2 years. My vision blurs for a second, the memory of signing that document through humiliated tears, sharp and painful. I look up, meeting his expectant gaze. I tap a perfectly manicured nail on my laptop screen, waking it from sleep. The screen displays an email confirmation time-stamped 5 minutes ago. A partnership won't be necessary, Marcus, I say, my voice dangerously soft. As of this morning, Chen Hospitality Group completed its acquisition of Jennings Catering. The holding company defaulted on several loans secured by the building. My building. We simply bought out the debt. You work for me now, or rather, you did. Check your email. Your termination notice should be arriving shortly. His face transforms. The confident mask shatters, replaced by pure, unadulterated panic. He scrambles for his phone, fumbling with the screen. His jaw goes slack as he reads. You can't, he stammers. I can, I reply, leaning back in my chair. And I have. The power inversion is absolute, delicious. Security will escort you out. He leaves, not storming this time, but stumbling, broken. Finally, my parents. Sophia's parents. They arrive together, looking older, smaller than I remember. My father carries something wrapped in cloth. He places it gently on my desk. It's my grandfather's antique rolling pin, the one Sophia cherished, the one that disappeared from her apartment after the fire. The dark wood is smooth, worn, carrying the patina of generations, the faint scent of flour and history clinging to it. A family heirloom they kept from me like they kept everything else. Sophia, Wei, whoever you are now, my mother begins, her voice quavering like heat rising from a freshly baked loaf. We were wrong, so terribly wrong, hiding your heritage, favoring Olivia, and we were scared. Scared of the Chen legacy, scared of repeating my family's mistakes. We thought we were protecting you, my father adds, his voice rough. Protecting you from that world. We see now. We only hurt you. Deprived you. He gestures towards the rolling pin. Your grandfather. He would be proud of the woman you've become. The businesswoman. Please, my mother pleads, tears welling in her eyes. Can we start again? Can we be a family? The family we should have been? Their regret seems real. The pain in their eyes mirrors a dull ache deep within me, a phantom limb of filial affection I thought long severed. But the scars remain. The years of dismissal, of comparison, of being made to feel small, inadequate. The ultimate betrayal of letting me struggle, letting me die metaphorically, while they guarded secrets and heirlooms. I stand up, smoothing the front of my silk blouse. I look from my mother's tear-streaked face to my father's hopeful, fearful expression. No. The word hangs in the air, simple, final, absolute. I don't need protection, I say, my voice quiet but firm. And I don't need the family that threw me away, that chose secrets over honesty, that valued their comfort above their daughter's dreams. I've already built my own family, my team, my bakery. I gesture around the office, encompassing the life I've made. My legacy, it's mine, built from my own ashes. They stare at me, speechless, heartbroken. As they turn to leave, defeated, my father reaches instinctively for his jacket pocket. My eyes narrow. Something is tucked inside. Something small, rectangular, bound in worn leather. Familiar. My breath catches, it can't be. Wait, I say, my voice barely a whisper. What is that, in your pocket? My father freezes, his hand hovering over the bulge in his jacket. His eyes widen in alarm. He knows I've seen it. He knows I recognize it. Where? I ask again, stepping towards him, my voice gaining strength, steel replacing the whisper. Did you get my recipe journal? 1 year later, the city spreads out below me, glittering in the early morning sun. I stand on the private rooftop terrace of the Phoenix Bakery headquarters, the flagship location, occupying the very building where Marcus Jennings once presided over his empire. Below, in the state-of-the-art kitchens, my team is already hard at work, the familiar, comforting ballet of baking underway. The gentle breeze carries up the mingled scents of the day's first batches: warm cinnamon from the morning buns, rich dark chocolate from the ganache, and always the bright, hopeful fragrance of lemon and lavender. My signature, my survival. The past year has been a reconstruction, not just of a business, but of a self. After the confrontation, my father surrendered the recipe journal. His explanation was weak. He'd found it in the wreckage after the fire, kept it as a memento, never realizing its significance beyond sentimental value. I don't know if I entirely believe him, but retrieving it felt like reclaiming the final stolen piece of Sophia Chen. Holding the worn leather, seeing my own youthful handwriting detailing recipes and dreams, felt like closing a circle. The journal now rests inside a glass case in my office, beside the National Pastry Award I won 6 months ago, beating Marcus's former company, now struggling under new ethical management I appointed. Beside the award sits my grandfather's antique rolling pin, restored and polished, a tangible link to a past I'm still learning to integrate. It's a place of honor, a reminder of where I came from, both the pain and the passion. Today I'm reviewing applications for the Phoenix Culinary Scholarship, a program I established to support underprivileged youth with raw talent and baking dreams, the kind of support Sophia desperately needed. Reading their hopeful, hesitant stories, seeing sketches tucked between application pages, I feel a pang of recognition. So many echo my own past struggles. An invitation sits on my desk, cream cardstock, simpler this time. Olivia is getting married. Not to Marcus. Their engagement dissolved quickly after his company's acquisition and his public disgrace. She's marrying a quiet kindergarten teacher she met volunteering. The wedding is small, low-key, a world away from the lavish affair she'd planned with Marcus. I won't attend. The wounds are too deep, the trust too irrevocably broken. But I decide to send a cake, a simple, elegant white chocolate mousse cake. The enclosed card is brief. Begin again. SC. A small gesture of healing, more for myself perhaps than for her. My phone buzzes. Plans for the 5th Phoenix Bakery location need approval. Seattle this time. The empire is growing, built on the principles Sophia dreamed of: ethical sourcing, fair wages, supporting local farmers, fostering creativity. We focus on quality, on craft, on community. It's everything elite bakery under Marcus pretended to be but never was. It's the Chen legacy, reforged in my own image. Later that afternoon, a young woman arrives for a scholarship interview. She's nervous, clutching a spiral-bound notebook filled with handwritten recipes and sketches. Her eyes are bright, anxious. My family? She begins, then hesitates. They think baking is silly, a waste of time. They mocked my dreams. Her voice trembles slightly, but her chin is firm. The afternoon light catches the determination in her eyes. I feel a jolt, a powerful echo of my past. Ashley's condescending tone, my mother's dismissive sighs, Olivia's careless cruelty. Homespun, frivolous, simple. I reach out and gently take the offered notebook. The pages are filled with passion, with potential. A familiar fire. Let me see what you can create, I say softly, offering her an encouraging smile. Soon, the teaching kitchen adjacent to my office fills with the sounds of whisks against bowls, the gentle hum of stand mixers, the low thrum of convection ovens. I watch her work, guiding her technique, answering her questions, sharing a quiet word of encouragement, mentoring another Phoenix, helping her find her wings. As evening approaches, I retreat to the rooftop garden Lena helped me plant. Rows of lavender, lemon balm, mint, rosemary herbs I use daily in my recipes. The setting sun paints the sky in fiery shades of orange, pink, and gold, reflecting off the glass towers of the city. Below, lights begin to twinkle, like scattered sugar crystals on an endless dark frosting. I breathe in the cool night air, fragrant with herbs and distant rain. My hands, though scrubbed clean hours ago, still carry the faint, lingering scent of butter, vanilla, lemon. The ghosts of Sophia's past are quieter now, integrated into the strength of Chen Wei, the power of Sophia Chen, heir and architect of her own life. In this life, I became the baker and the boss, the artist and the businesswoman. I learned that success is built not just on talent, but on resilience. I am the phoenix, risen. I am the fire that forged her. And revenge? Revenge, I discovered, unlike my carefully balanced pastries, is a dish best served cold, methodical, and ultimately left behind in the pursuit of a sweeter future. The best revenge wasn't the downfall of others, but the rebuilding of myself. Stronger, wiser, finally free.